I'm here with Patti Dobrowolski, and we're here to talk about seeing our futures. So many of us, Patti, are dealing with this really unusual, difficult time. People are feeling confused, unsure about so many aspects of their daily, midterm, and even long-term life situation. And since you have specialized in sharing how we can see forward about our visions and our intentions and our dreams and making those real, we wanted to hear how you see us approaching this question of facing the need to dream in the time of COVID-19.
Thanks, Phil. And I just would like to start by saying that this kind of disruption that we're having is an opportunity for us to reflect on ourselves and see what about us and our world needs to shift. It's really a wake-up call in a way when everything stops in such a pandemic way where we're wearing masks and walking out in public, and these kinds of things, I think, do the first thing. They trigger a bunch of fear inside of you, because if you were like me, I was a speaker going out in the world, and that was my means of getting work. Was I flew there, and of course, as soon as that pandemic happened, that stopped. And so you may be experiencing, as I did when I first started, I felt this bit of fear. And I think with any kind of change that we have, any kind of disruption that comes in like that, you stop in fear first, because that's our natural instinct. And then the way you actually start to put your hands around that and wrap your arms around what that change is about is that you look at and you ask yourself, what is my new normal? And in this case, you know, the new normal looks something like this. We're all wearing these masks, right? When we go out in public, maybe you have a job, maybe you don't. Maybe you used to go into the office, but that's over now. You're not going into an office, and so maybe your experience and your reality in the new normal looks something like this, that you're on your computer, and that's how you're relating to people almost 100% of the time. And you know, that's kind of different. And so one of the things that you want to do is look at really what in that new normal is good. What's good about it? Well, what's true is that you spend more time with your family, if you have one. And you're also in a state of reflection. So you have some time where you're actually like thinking about, what is my life like now? And what's important to me? For example, the other night I was sitting outside, and in our neighborhood at night when the sun goes down, someone 2 blocks over pulls out a trumpet and starts to play taps, or they play God Bless America, or they play Amazing Grace. And at the end of it, the whole neighborhood starts to applaud. And in this night, the nuns were walking down the street from the Catholic Church, and they stopped to bless everybody on the street. And I thought, this is the new normal. And so I'm looking at what are the positive things that are happening, but also what are also the things that have changed. Maybe you don't have the same kind of income that you had before, or maybe your way of working is gone. And so what do you do about that? Rather than reverting to fear, which is our natural reaction, we want to sit with that new normal and understand it. And then we want to figure out, okay, if my old routine was to get into a car and go to work, or get on a plane and fly somewhere, or get to the computer and work on my stuff and then call people on the phone and go see them in person, my new normal now has to have a routine. And so I'm going to set up whatever that routine is for me, because the routine for you and your brain is the place where you can calm yourself down. And that's what you want to do. The neuroscience shows us that if we are afraid in the middle of the night, if we make a list of all of the things that we need to do the next day, we then relieve ourselves of holding that stress inside. And so by talking with, dealing with, putting it out there, and then setting a new routine for how will I start my day? Will I start my day in prayer, meditation? Will I start my day with writing something, my intentions maybe? And then with those intentions, I'll put into that, what's my schedule going to be for the day? And what do I want to accomplish? Because the one thing your brain really loves is that it likes to know what it's done at the end of the day. It goes, click, that box is completed. Now, all we've done is calm down the nervous system so that we can make way for the new normal to just be what it is. And so there's something, Phil, about appreciating the new normal that's important, to see what's there for you. Then, once you understand what your new normal is and you've set yourself up for some kind of routine of what's going to happen, then what you want to do is to envision a future. Now, why do you want to envision your future when you're kind of afraid, or maybe you don't have any money coming in and you're delivering food to people's doors, or maybe you're somewhere where you've got a whole family and you're trapped inside and you're trying to teach your kids how to use the computer or stick with them while you're a teacher online? There's so many variables that are happening. But if you take the time to dream your future, you change your body chemistry immediately. And so suddenly, when you envision a positive future for yourself, like maybe that the money will be coming back, right? So here's our future, that we're going to have more abundance than we did before. Or maybe what's going to happen is that you are going to pivot your business to something that's online completely, so that you have all this quality time with your family, which you didn't have before because you were flying around or you were going to work every single day. But now in this new normal, and someone told me this story, now this woman who was very, impoverished is now making masks for people, has made more money than she ever did in her whole life. You see, so there's opportunity in here, and your job is to then dream that. So in the best case scenario, a year from today, or I would say post-COVID, because we don't know how long it's going to go on, imagine the qualities and characteristics that you would like to experience. Maybe you want to feel more abundant. Maybe you want to feel more love. Maybe you want to feel like you're aligned, your work is aligned with your passion, so that you're actually doing something that you feel like is contributing to the world. Allow the disruption to open you up to the new possibility, and know that you don't need to know how to bridge the gap. You just need to set the stage for what will happen. And so you put up here all of the things that are important to you, you making an impact, you having the relationships that you want, and all of the beautiful things that you've always dreamed. And then once you have this, you've changed your body chemistry so that suddenly you feel confident, you're ready to go, you know it can happen. Well, if you put this picture of the future somewhere you can see it every day, and you fill it in with color and beauty, and you take action on it, you actually improve your chances of success by 42%. 42%. Who wouldn't want that, right? And so when you feel overwhelmed by the current state of what's happening in the new normal, take the time to dream that future that you want to live in. And then once you've got that future state and it's in all full living color, the kinds of things that you really could see yourself doing, the ways that you want to be in this environment and the impact that you want to have, then ask yourself, what would be the 3 boldest things that I could do to get there? What would they be? And maybe one of them would be to believe in yourself. And maybe one of them would be actually going out and shift your career. And maybe one of them might be to be love in every moment. So that you shift your perspective from it's all about making money and all about me to all about us. And that's the beauty of the disruption that we're in, is that we have the opportunity to change and shift how we are in the world so that we step into this new normal with all of the beauty that we can possibly bring. And that Phil, is really what it's about. Looking at where you are in the new normal And knowing that doing that will decrease your fear right away. And then envisioning that future you the way you've always wanted it to be. And finally, just coming up with 3 things that you think you need to do right now. Those are the steps that you can take right away.
Wow. So this idea of a new normal is not something that we receive. The way you seem to be thinking about it, the new normal is something that we help to generate. Is that
Yes.
part of how you
You
understand?
decide, of course, some of the things that are true about our new normal is that we have to be careful about how we get food, and that we have to be conscious of going out in public, and that we have to maintain this distance from other people, even if there are friends, right? And so that's part of the new normal. But within that new normal are all the ways that you have to become different in your business and in your health and in your perspective on the world. And so, yes, those are the things that you actually have a lot of control of. And then if you create this routine, it will totally help. It'll totally calm you down. And that routine may change every week. You don't know, but to set one for yourself and then set your intentions within that, that'll help you to really stay focused on what's important to you, what's important to your family, to your business, to your heart, to your essence, right? Your being.
It feels a little bit like, for some of us, our fear has been, in a sense, weaponized against us. We've used our fear to kind of derail this more creative, constructive, and confident future building that otherwise we would do.
Yes. And I think that's part of the role that the media has played here, you know. And so you have to realize you're in charge of the media. You can turn it off and you can turn you on. And in that turning on of yourself, then you can remember all of the things, like this experience I shared where we were sitting out on the street. This to me reminded me of my childhood, that there was a time in which I remember going out with my family, sitting out on the curb, talking to the neighbors across the street. Now, do I do that now? And do we do that commonly in the world that we live in? Not in the US part of the world, maybe other parts of the world, but not here. But now, all of those things have resurfaced and come back. And that's the beauty of disruption, is that it will break it open. So the heart, the true essence, the love of what we're made of, this part, this effervescent flow of, you know, light and sound and love spreads itself out because it must. It has to, because it has a gap. And the gap will get filled either with your fear or it will get filled with your positivity and your love. And it's a choice every morning.
Wow, you set a high bar. And it's, I think, it's one that will create a world we want more to live in, for sure. Do you have any other examples that you can share of people who have taken this in stride or have taken this and put it to apply in the recent days? Yes,
I would say a couple of things. One, I did a 5-day challenge, one on fear and one on conquering COVID. And in the conquering COVID, I had people from Croatia and all different parts of Spain and Europe that were coming into the 5-day challenge. And one of the things that always surfaces is people's, their not just fear, but the confidence. Because what keeps us from our dreams is this piece that, do I believe in myself enough or believe in my dream that I will actually do it? And what's amazing is that everyone that came into that challenge really took it up a notch. I had them do a TikTok, you know, so that they did a lip sync to their favorite song so that we could see them break out. Because this is what helps create change in us, is to push ourselves into the discomfort in such a way that we learn something about ourselves. And so in this time, you can disrupt yourself in a way that you'll learn about you and what is truly meaningful to you. And in that place, your family will do it. So someone sent me, so I did that video. I did one myself, of course, and I posted it on Instagram. And then once I had posted it, I got a mother wrote me a note. And she said, can you help me? My daughter is in college. She's having a really hard time. I don't know what to do. And I said, well, why don't you, one, have her take her Agilities profiler at agilities.org. It's the DeBruce Foundation's free assessment. And right there, you can figure out what are your top 3 agilities, because that's what you need to understand. In this climate, you have to be agile. And so know your agilities, what they are. And then second, draw your future. So the next day, she said, we didn't just do it with her. She showed the picture of her experience, and the daughter loved it and had a really positive frame on it. But she said, we did it with our entire family. We drew the future of our family, and it brought us together, and it allowed us to share openly how we felt inside. And I think that's part of it, is we need to be in conversation, don't you think, Phil, about what's real, and then dream together the reality that we want to create and that we will create.
Yeah, streaming together is a very powerful way to think and to reframe the kind of disruption that we are experiencing today, a little bit more like the way innovators talk about disrupting the markets, you know, and it has a very positive valence, and really it's in how it holds its place in your mind and how you hold it in your mind. You know, some might think this is unrealistically idealistic, right? What do you say to those who question the idealism and the we should not be dreaming big at a time like this?
Well, I would say what's true is that when we're in a fear state, we compress and contract ourselves. And so that it's not that I'm not dealing with reality. You know, I shared that my reality changed dramatically, and I had to become suddenly online all the time. And so I dealt with that piece of it. That's my new normal. But the piece about dreaming big is that don't trust me. Try it for yourself. You know, we'll give you a template, and then you try for the experience yourself. See if dreaming a positive future for you shifts how you feel in your body first, and then see if it impacts anything in your world around you. And the third piece of that is that you can have this knowing where you are, and you can dream this picture, but without this piece in the center of your boots on the ground, things don't change, because otherwise it's just a dream. That's not really the world that we live in. In order to create significant change, you have to roll up your sleeves and get dirty. And in the getting dirty, you learn about yourself. And so, yes, sometimes I'll be in a room full of young people, and a high school student will put up here, win the lottery. And I'll say to him or her, you know, or them, I'll say, it's important to know that winning the lottery is a very slim chance. Wouldn't you like to improve your odds? And I'd like to, you know, get that 42% myself. And so I know if I put the picture of what I want somewhere, I can see it every day. And I daydream it. As if it's reality. Then it becomes my reality if I continue to take action on it. And it will for that family. And it will for those people that are out on the street who are creating more of a community and a neighborhood feel. And for some of the people in the 5-day challenge in Croatia, they took their action plans and they send me every single day something that they've done to stay motivated. So getting a group together to create change helps as well. Not to feel like you have to do it on your own, because that's not, this is what they try to do, is to push you off into your own. But it's your responsibility to know yourself and connect with others, because the otherness, the collective whole, is where we learn the most.
Thank you. This is just really great.